Welcome to Frames of the Written Word, a literary program that focuses on writers, books, scholars of literature, and publishers.
The father of Marxists,
Yes,
was writing at a time when the society was at a different level.
yeah,
And that level was basically, we had moved now from slavery
yes,
to feudalism. We had moved from slavery to feudalism.
yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
Where now the masters were no longer now forcing slaves, but they were hiring slaves and paying them little
Yeah.
to work in their whatever. What we call now the feudalism. So at that time he was trying to do some economic interpretation
Yes.
of how long is this relationship going to endure.
Okay.
The relationship between the master and the slave, now of which now it was no longer a master, it was the bourgeoisie,
Yeah.
and now the proletariat, the worker.
Yeah.
So that theory now comes to literature.
Yeah.
When we see, for example, writers writing, creating a plot
Yes.
where some characters are masters,
Yeah.
other characters are proletariats.
Yes.
And then we can see, okay, wait a minute, this character is developing into what maybe Karl Marx was saying.
Yes.
There would be a revolution against the bourgeoisie. So when we see someone, a writer trying to develop a character,
Like in The Man of the People?
exactly, characters who want now to overtake, or they create characters whereby now the bourgeoisie continues to amass
Yes.
wealth and try to maximize profit. That's now capitalism. Then we start now seeing the ideology of Karl Marx in that text.
Yes.
And because of that now, that is where now we bring in the theory.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
that theory is not only literary, it is used also in economics and in development
Yes.
and in many other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The writer in Africa, there's a time the writer was respected, especially the first African writers, because of the role they played in the liberation struggle. Somebody compared the writer with the politician, that they did the same thing in terms of liberating their people. Do you think the contemporary writer still has that respect from the community and influence?
No, things have changed.
Okay.
Yeah, we are no longer in that. And the 21st century has come with a very big transformation and change of things.
Yeah.
The 20th century, which is just a few years ago, I think 24 years,
Yes.
after we crossed to the 21st century, it has come with a boom of technology and new generation.
Yeah.
And this new generation is the consumer, because any work of literature,
Yes.
the success of any work of literature, any work of art, depends on the consumers. So we cannot say they are not respected. What we can say is that they could be the forms of expression, which is the novel, the poem, the play, the whatever, is not consumable
To the
to the current
In
generation.
fact, somebody said that in the near future, the novel form of literature will disappear. That what will remain is autobiographies.
Actually, now we are moving away from fiction to what we call self-help books.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now people are saying, now, why should I read fiction when I can read a self-help text?
Okay.
So we are going now to non-fiction.
Yes.
Yeah.
So literature, the way people, whatever we write, will now be dictated by the demand, according to you.
It is dictated by the demand.
Just like we have newspapers nowadays, people don't buy newspapers.
Yeah, they don't, because newspapers no longer carry news.
Yeah.
They cannot carry news.
Yes.
What they carry are news pictures.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's somebody who said that there are some authors who write just like journalists, that they are not creative, that their style is just journalism. Is there any difference between style where you can tell, like this called Austin? Is it somebody Austin who wrote a...
Don't even go very far.
Yeah.
If you remember the one, this satirist, Mutai, who used to write for
Nation.
For Nation.
Yes, I remember.
Was Wahome Mutai.
Wahome, yeah.
Wahome Mutai has a novel.
Yes.
You know that? 3 Days on the Cross.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And I remember when we were invited to analyze that particular novel.
Yes.
And I was told by my professor, no, this is not literature.
Yeah. Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
Anyway, it was Professor Ilieva, basically, from Ndonye University.
Who noted that?
No, she never accepted that is a work of literature.
There's also a writer who is called Tom Wolfe. He was accused
Tom Wolfe,
so, of writing journalism.
But you see, if we go by the rules of literary canons,
yes.
So the question would be, what is a literary canon?
All right.
And what standards do we use to determine that this work of literature should be included in the canon?
Yeah.
The answer is this. Those are Western marking schemes.
Okay.
And they are Western marking schemes, and and that is the reason why you realize there are no upcoming writers in literature, because we are not flexible.
Yeah.
Our fence is not flexible to accommodate the new styles and the new ways of doing things.
Okay.
And unless we do that, then we will stop literature, and it will become a thing of the past, and then we will start a new genre.
Okay.
And we'll have now fenced the canon and say now the canon went away with the 20th century.
Yeah.
And therefore 21st century, no work fits into the literary canon.
Okay.
Inflexibility is what actually will kill literature.
All right. So as you noted earlier, teaching of literature and English in secondary school is very important. So are there ways you can collaborate with teachers in secondary school and new scholars now in order to improve what is taking place in secondary school? Maybe sometimes you guide them?
Yeah, that is important.
Yes.
But we ask of what impact?
All right.
Because English and literature is just one subject in high school.
Yeah.
And it is classified as an art, so social science, with also humanities. And the way we have learned to do in our high schools, we don't teach our children at high school to value any other thing like science.
Yes.
And that has been our problem.
Okay.
To try to glorify science.
Yes, even during our time.
Over other subjects. So, because of that, I don't think we may have a lot of impact trying to pump all that effort into secondary schools.
Yes.
But it can work if that effort is pumped now at a higher education level.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there is need for you maybe to hold workshops maybe where you engage with teachers in secondary school.
Yeah, of course. Of course, those workshops are important. Those workshops are important, and you remember that's why they have a lot of part, especially when it comes to these cultural events that are organized nationally.
Yeah.
So it may work.
Yeah.
But the influence might not be there. Okay. Because after you have equipped them, where are they going to?
You have been listening to Friends of the Written Word. Make sure to follow this series of literary discourse by subscribing on my YouTube channel. I was your host and producer, Sospita Mwigai. Until next time, it's goodbye for now.